Hello, this is Ray Jennings, Commissioner of the Premier 20-team USFL Fantasy Football League. Here are previews. Week 5, we're getting into divisional games now. All important divisional games where you win, the other team loses within division, you move up in the division. So really important. We'll start out with the Federals, champions last year, starting out 0-4, Paul Thompson's Federals and Michael Harris. Rough start here. It's all going to depend on the Saints trio of Michael Thomas, Breeze, and Kamara, as it always has. They go into Veterans Stadium to face the Stars, Michael Ancelotti and Ken Dunnock's team. I don't see much way here, but what I see is the Federals can pick between Higbee and Schultz, and the Stars can pick between Burrow and Watson. Beckham's probably going to be a star going forward, we're looking, or at least the Stars are hoping that Beckham will be a star. But I'm giving the Stars the edge in this game, just basically based on Beckham's performance. If Beckham turns out to be a dud, Federals have a chance here. As I've stated before in the past, the Atlantic Division, I do believe, is the weaker division going forward. The division where any team has a chance to still win the division despite being 0-4. This is an important game. Both teams 0-4, Federals and Stars, one to watch. Next game, Maulers go into Orlando, go into Orange County to face the Orlando Renegades. This is going to be a really tough game. This is my dog of the week simply because once again, as John Pahala said, I'm not giving the Maulers much respect. They are 3-1, facing Orlando Renegades 3-1, Michael Rodriguez and Ron Freeman's team. Maulers will have to adjust up to game day, but I see the Renegades favored here. They're favored in Vegas. Maulers lose on the road 25-19 in an easy win for the Orlando Renegades. Next game, New Jersey Generals and the Spirit. These games are Atlantic Division matchups here that I'm talking about. New Jersey Generals 1-3, Jose Plaza's team versus Matthew Farishi's 2-2 Spirit. The Spirit have a home game here in the Orange Bowl. Evans will be a game time decision for the Spirit. The Spirit's ancillary set is pretty solid. Head coach, kicker, individual defensive player, and team defense. I give the edge to the Spirit here at home. Generals are 1-3 and have a solid roster, but Devontae Adams is on bye and or injured the past few weeks. Has been hurting the Generals' hopes. But this will be a close game, but I give the Spirit the win, home field advantage, and a pretty solid roster top to bottom. Spirit take down the Generals this week is my prediction. So when you look at the Atlantic Division, assuming that the Maulers were to get beat by the Orlando Renegades, a 1-4 team in the Stars and Federals game, a 1-4 team will only be 2 games back going into divisional play. Of course, being 0-5 is really tough, but even at 0-5, with the best team in the Atlantic Division being 3-2, 3 games back with 8 or 9 games to go. It's a long shot, but Federals former champions, Stars got a good team, and so the Atlantic Division is going to be something to watch, even with these 2 0-4 teams going forward. Moving on, Breakers and the Panthers. This is my upset of the week. Breakers go to the Panthers. Breakers are 1-3. Looking into the Breakers, there will be a lot of last-minute decisions made. They want to have any chance to put something together to have a chance for the Pacific run. This is my upset of the week. It's all on Dak for the Portland Breakers. If Dak has another one of those big games, and the matchups look pretty favorable for Jason, they have a chance against the Panthers. So that is my upset of the week. Next, Wranglers and the Express out in the Pacific. Kevin Perilou versus El Briscoe. Brady versus Jackson should be a great game. Wranglers have 2 wins the past 2 weeks. They have a really solid team Kevin Perillou's put together. one of their losses was a 1/100th of a point in the first week. Kevin takes his Wranglers into the LA Coliseum, haul off these 2 straight wins against who I think is one of the more favored teams in the whole league, the Express. This is the game of the week as far as I'm concerned as well. Half-point favorite to the Wranglers. If Derrick Henry doesn't play for the Express, that's going to make a big difference. But I like the Express at home, even without Henry, to win this game. Very important Pacific battle. And then the Gold and the Invaders. Gosh, anytime you have to go to the Coliseum and play the Invaders this year, you're going to be in an uphill climb. The Gold do have a shot at this. They are 3-1, Invaders 4-0. Very important Pacific Division game, but we'll see what turns out there. Gold have a really uphill climb in that game. And then the Outlaws and Gamblers, this is Celebrity Game of the Week. Stacey Ashton and Scott Boucher versus Keith Clark and Kyle Smith. This does not look good again for the Oklahoma Outlaws. I was looking here. They have not lined up a individual defensive player or head coach. Maybe they're trying to save some of their key offensive players for another day. But I did look at a random average, and it's close to 3 points just randomly looking at other teams last week in their head coach and defensive positions. There was a couple teams that had a minus, but for the most part, they averaged about 3 points. That is the difference here in this point spread with Vegas right now. So we'll see what happens with the Outlaws as far as lining the roster full. But right now, the Gamblers have the big advantage in this game. They're going to be led by Hoyer. They are going to play at the Astrodome, so that might make a little bit of difference. But presently, I think the Outlaws' time to win is here with a full lineup. I'm giving the Outlaws the win with a full lineup, 24-23 in this one. You could call that my upset of the week, but that's what I'm looking at with teams properly lined up. And then the Blitz and the Gunslingers, bottom of the Central, both 1-3. I tell you, if Mark gets upset, Mark's Panthers get upset, and somehow Outlaws upset, this Gunslingers Blitz game is very important. The Blitz are not ready for the Alamo, though. I think the Gunslingers win this game and go to 2-3. Blitz drop to 1-4. So moving on to finally to the South, the Bandits play the Boats. This is going to be a really good game. The Boats are favored right now. Bandits are without McCafferty. Bandits go to the Liberty Bowl. Boats have some issues to be concerned with Julio Jones and Eckler out. So it's going to be hard, but Bandits usually find a way. So I'm going to go with the Bandits at the Liberty Bowl, win over the Showboats. And then the Bulls and the Stallions are definitely the dog of the week. Bulls are favored by 6. I just don't see any way for the Stallions to pull this one off. We'll just have to see what happens. Bulls look so strong. That's it, guys. Previews, week 5. Enjoy.